My name's Eli Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people. All right, welcome back, everybody. Eli here, and today on Meet Cool People, I have a cool friend of mine I have known for I don't even know how many years now back in Oregon. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Ben Roth, he is a Oregon native. He and I met in the archery community, and he's going to talk about a little bit what he does with his business and stuff like that, and a little bit of story behind him. He worked and rode in a horse farm instead of PE in high school. He got very much into that side. And then he saw a clinic on Facebook about learning horse archery, which leads to how he and I got connected. He shoots classical Ming style archery under what we call it's the Ming Na School of Chinese Archery. And I think I got that one right. And he owns his own business now. He has taken it in there. He is a North American distributor for 3 different brands of Asiatic archery equipment. And as somebody who is in the archery community, that is actually how I met him. And we got to be really good friends. So today I'm happy to bring in Ben. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you? Thanks for bringing me on.
Yes, it's a lot of fun, and it's kind of cool because it's a very different thing that I don't get to talk about as much. I get to talk to a lot of people about all kinds of entrepreneurship and fun stuff, but I don't get to talk about archery near as much. So it's kind of cool to be able to bring that in. So tell us a little bit more about how you got started in this stuff. I mean, I know you're in the horse community, and then you got into the horse archery community. Tell us a little bit more about that journey.
I just wanted to not take PE. That's literally it.
I love
it. And then the barn was like 3 minutes from my house, so I just drive there after school, and it'd be great. And then I started to shovel shit, and then help people do stuff with their horses, and then eventually started like riding and jumping.
Very cool.
That's
now,
yeah.
Now it's always fun when you find those things that you're passionate about, and it's kind of cool because you have that thing you're passionate about horses, and that's how you got started into this. But when you can take something like that and take a true passion, something you're excited about, and turn it into a business, it's a whole different game. And I know this from a lot of the stuff that I do and myself as well. We have businesses that we do because they're businesses and they can be profitable and pay the bills. So we don't have to have a regular job, because I know for me, I'm unemployable. But for a lot of people, they don't really have that luxury. And a lot of people think about the fact as, oh, you should, start a business around what you love, because that's going to be, that's going to make it wonderful for you. But a lot of times that's actually a lot harder to do than people realize. So it's awesome that you got into that. Now let's talk about the archery stuff. You got into it from a clinic. Which clinic was that, by the way?
Lisa Badger. She was in Ridgefield, Washington. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw an ad for it on Facebook. And I was like, that looks dope. Let's do it.
Very cool. And from that standpoint, now, how long have you been in the archery community to begin with?
2019.
2018. Okay. Awesome. And when was it that you and I met? It would have been probably right around there, wasn't it?
It probably was 2018, because I started shooting at Archery's Field in August.
Okay.
There.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And when you got into it, so you took this clinic from Lisa and just fell in love with it, right?
Yeah.
And from there, the biggest thing, this is why I wanted to bring on the show, you have taken this to a whole new level. And I think it's one of the things I'd love to talk a little bit more about is you really hone in on your craft. You are always out there learning new stuff. And I saw you when you were going through some of the Chinese archery classes and that kind of stuff, and who you were following. Mm-hmm. And it was I love seeing that journey. So let's talk a little bit about what was it that really dug you into it, and what does that journey look like?
I thought it was just fun to sling arrows and have them go pretty far. It's pretty simple. My wants and needs are pretty simple. The slinging arrows really far. It felt just good to shoot. That's Yeah.
So when you started studying the other stuff, like diving deep into it, because I know, like for me, I got really into, from the traditional side, but more Western tradition. So studying the stuff from a lot of the American archers that were more famous, and then obviously in Europe, especially, England, stuff like that. What was it that drew you to like going down specifically like the Chinese archery style and that kind of stuff? Where did that come from?
The Asiatic archery, the Chinese style Asiatic archery kind of encompasses like Turkish, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, anything to do with drawing a bow with the thumb.
With the thumb ring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Mongols, they conquered the steppes in East Asia from their horses, their stirrups, and the speed of reloading for their bows. Put it on the right side, shoot really fast. Put it on the right side, shoot really fast.
Yep. Yeah. And that's where, when I got into that side of it too, I got connected to Seven Meadows Archery.
Yeah.
And that's how I got connected to him. I still have my Mongol sitting actually in my bedroom right over here. Mm-hmm. And I love that bow. It's still a fun bow. But it was really kind of cool. And a lot of people don't really realize, like, the Mongols were like the first drive-by shooters.
Yeah.
That's really what they were. That's how they took over Asia. Mm-hmm.
And they really put their bows like sideways. So just kind of,
Yeah. Which is hilarious because that's how I shoot too. And I don't shoot with a thumb ring either. I shoot more. What is the other? Because they changed the name many times. It's not Mediterranean. It's the other one. It's the Asian style, but it's
Turkish.
Is it the Turkish?
Turkish. You draw to your ear,
but it's like this Chinese instead of Mediterranean.
The Slavic.
Yeah, Slavic. That's it.
Oh,
they changed the name several times, and I couldn't keep up with it. So when I shoot my Asian bows, that's how I shoot because I just could never get into the thumb style. Mm-hmm. But you did certifications and stuff too, didn't you?
Yeah. I went to Georgia for that.
Okay, explain a little bit more about that. What was that journey like?
It was pretty. I was really nervous. I prepared for 6 months for that, just trying to shoot 30 yards, get all the arrows on the target, and just being nervous to meet like my heroes like Justin Mott, Jay Tong, Blake Cole, and Jakob Kopadreyer, Kay Kopadreyer. So that was insane. That was insane getting prepared to meet them and then meeting them. It was awesome.
That is awesome. That is cool. I would love to meet Justin. I've actually seen his stuff. I followed him for a while. I haven't for a while now, but I used to follow his stuff pretty deep. But you're teaching other people how to do this. You created a business around it. And so now you're teaching other people this stuff. What is it that I'm trying to think of the right way to ask the question. When people are coming to you, are they 100% new? Are they've been shooting, but they're going to like a local archery shop and they're like, okay, this isn't really what I want. Cause we all find that's kind of where I was with a lot of it when I got started. Where are they when they come to you and what is it you're doing to help them out?
Most people are brand new. I get them started. Some of them haven't even done archery before, which is really cool because they get started on the Asian archery without having to do the Mediterranean. And what I mean without having to do, it's not many people get that just fresh experience of shooting with a thumb. Most people are already inclined to shoot this way from media and all sorts, but they come to me, they get lessons, they get equipment, and the experienced archers are the easiest ones to teach. Because they, it's so easy to translate the styles from each other. It's bow is bow, string physics is string physics. Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things I always love about it is that, it's once you understand the physics of it, it's actually pretty easy. Yeah. Like the basics are easy. Now I say that when, we're all archers, and what is the Henry Ford quote, the definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing the same way and get different results. We are exactly the opposite. We're trying to do the same thing the same way and get the same results, which doesn't always happen. It's always a lot of fun with that. Yeah, it can be tough. When you're teaching people how to shoot, so you're getting in with that side. So you started off with that, right? With basically doing lessons for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, when you decided to go to that next level of starting a real business and being a distributor of different companies, different brands of the Asiatic style equipment, where did that come into play, and what does that journey look like for you?
Well, students need equipment, especially if they're new, and telling them to wait a long time for stuff, especially when they say, "Hey, can I buy this from you? Hey, can I buy this from you?" And it's like, I don't have that. So my lesson bows were not suitable at first. They were a little heavy, and the reason I started was because everyone was saying, "Oh, you should teach, you should teach, you should give lessons because you just tell people at the range and just show them the way you shoot and you do horseback archery, and they think that's cool." So that's
right. Very cool. Now, what are the companies that you're associated with now?
AF, Alibo, and Vermo Archery. I sell Vermo Archery to Three Rivers. Mariner Bow. Mariner Bow from China. I actually have to send an email in Chinese later today, and I'm kind of scared. But there's a guide. I have a guide from Justin. So
nice.
Yeah, but those three are my main ones. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Now, with everything that's been going on, how has what have you found has been the biggest challenge that you've had getting this business up and running?
Recently, the amount of time I've had to devote to it. I hate shipping things. I hate it so much. I'm sorry if anybody waiting on stuff. It's annoying making a box. That's all I have to say about that. But waiting for AF, Alibo, and whoever else I'm ordering from, Vermo is so fast. I send an order, they get that out same day pretty much, right. And that's insane. But AF and Alibo drag their feet. It's AF order, it was 3 months this last time, and my customers were waiting patiently, but they're asking for updates. So
yeah. Well, and that's one of the things too, is I see a lot of times, it is a different process compared to where a lot of people will, they'll walk into a shop and be able to just buy something, and you don't have that necessarily as an option for this kind of stuff, because it is a specialized art. It really is. I had the luxury of, when I first got started with Seven Meadows, it was great because they actually just shipped everything in, and Seven Meadows was the distributor in the US. So it was a lot faster. And this was before a lot of the shipping issues that were going on the last several years. And even, later on when it came to the Alibo stuff, when I was playing with that, everything was still fairly quick in that aspect. But, it's one of those things. It's one of the things for me, I love the fact I am every 100% service based. I don't have product, and I don't have product for a reason. It really is for that reason, because you never know what's going to happen. There's a lot of,
so many layaway bows and stuff on my wall that need to be sold.
Right. Yeah. And that is the stuff that, when you have a quote unquote brick and mortar, I mean, you don't have an office or a location.
I sell to Broken Arrow now, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's so cool. They stock my bows. Nice. I have to go there, but I don't have time today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, tell the guys I said hi.
I will.
Tell them that you were a guest on my podcast. That this will come about pretty soon. You'll have to share it with them.
Jennifer will be really excited.
Nice. Yeah, that is very cool. And just so for everybody listening here, Broken Arrow is the archery range that I spent most of my time with when I first started in archery. As a matter of fact, my first bow was actually it was my first bow. Before I got the Seven Meadows bow, my very first bow was bought from them. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't actually bought. I created a website for it. I built their website. I don't know if that website's still up, but I built that. No?
I mean, it's up, but
it's up. Yeah. Well, that was a long time ago. I realized I got some notices from Google because, Google Photos will send you, time lapse kind of stuff. Yeah. And I got some stuff that actually showed the pictures that I took that very first day, and they were over 10 years ago.
Wow. I mean, the place hasn't really changed. I mean, the post office is still
it doesn't. No, that is awesome. And it's kind of cool that you've been able to make those connections and get into to be able to be a distributor inside of physical locations as well, which is great because, anybody who does retail at all, even if you're running it out of your house, if you can have somebody else to sell wholesale to, that makes life much easier.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that you've been able to do that. Awesome. So what's good? What else are you going on with this stuff? Where are you at with, are you growing the training side? Are you focusing
Mostly
on some of
the bow
those?
side and the equipment side,
Okay.
because I'm getting more orders than I can get in.
Right.
I do have a lot of stock, but they're kind of earmarked for people, businesses, and
Hmm.
events. So
Right.
I can't really get rid of them. But
Mm.
mostly, I've just been working. I have a new job. I work full time at a gun store, so I sell firearms. So I'm an
Okay.
ancient and modern firearm dealer or
Nice.
dealer. Yeah, weapons.
Play with all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. So for anybody who's interested, and I can say this for my own personal thing, I don't get to shoot near as much as I used to. Since I've moved here to Texas, I've just been crazy busy with the business side and not had a chance to really go out a whole lot. But one thing that I can say from my personal standpoint, archery has been a phenomenal, like for me, it's a form of meditation. And that's why I got into it originally. And one of the things that I love the most about it is the community that I have gotten to meet over the years from it. You and I met. Now, where did we meet at?
It was, I think it was Archers of Field, because that
Was
was
it?
back when it was really crowded. And
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I hadn't gone to Broken Arrow for a while because I didn't go, yeah, for months after I started.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Because I think if I remember correctly, I was trying to get you to come over and shoot with me over at Broken Arrow
Yeah,
quite a bit.
that's it. Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about it is like everybody who listens to the show knows that everything I do, a lot of it is really based around meeting cool people, and the archery community is one of those things that I loved about it. And the cool thing about archery is, and this is why I was excited to have you come hang out and we can have this conversation, is there's so many aspects to it. It could be, some people do come in for the hunting aspect of it. Some people come in for the sport, as in like Olympic archer level kind of stuff. Like we know Brendan, you and I both know he's an Olympic level archer and super cool dude. And
He's
then some
never
of
wrong,
us,
and that bothers me.
yeah, yeah. That's why I enjoy talking stuff about longbows with him, because I know more about longbows than he does on that one.
Mhm.
But we meet some of the coolest people, and that's how you and I met for this. And there's so many different aspects for it. You want to come in you want to do it for a sport, that's cool. You want to do it to learn to hunt, that's cool. You want to learn to shoot off of a horse, that's cool as well. It really it doesn't matter what you're in there for. Some people, they just do it to something to do with the kids on the end. I know people that actually get their kids signed up for it for the purpose of getting them to focus. They're like kids that have the ADHD, and they're trying to get them to find something they can get focused on. And it's beautiful because when you watch them do it and they get into it, they're so good and
I
they're
have
so
ADHD
fun to
too, so I
watch.
can confirm that that's a true thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you think people should think about and know about archery in general, and what the benefits are of it?
They say that your sides will become uneven if you do archery, but that's not true. It's really great for evening the sides, actually, because for archery you want proper back tension, even back tension,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're doing it wrong. But it's really great for the body. It's really great for the mind, because you can just relax and shoot, relax and shoot. That's the way you're going to get the best shot, is just relax and shoot. And
Yeah.
it just mind, body, and you get to hit stuff with like paper with an arrow.
Yep. And the great thing is you can do it inside, you can do it outside, you can do it with just paper, you can shoot foam animals, any of that kind of stuff. You can have,
Inside, yeah.
yeah. I've seen some of your shots when you're shooting that one. And there was something else with that I was going to actually say.
I broke a lamp.
You broke a lamp?
I broke a lamp, yeah. My bow was too tall and it hit one of the
Oh, yeah.
circle thing, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that one. That's like I've got my new longbow. I think I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
The one fair, and that thing is just a beast. But it's 72 inches long, something like that.
Mine
Yeah,
are 68 inches, and I hit the wall. But they're the standard 8-inch ceiling? Yeah, it's actually my mom's dad's fault that the ceilings are 8 feet in America. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. He
Right.
owned a timber company and he cut it by 2 feet to save money, and now we all have 8-foot ceilings in America because it's Lindsay's dad.
That's hilarious. That is awesome. Very cool. All right. So is there anything else that you would like to share about like the benefits of archery? I love that you shared the, the health standpoint of it, and also the misconception of the, you're going to be lopsided, which is hilarious. Because one thing, and I'll bring this up because we haven't really touched on it, is that you shoot crazy heavy bows. And so like I shoot, I think my bow's 45. It's either 40 or 45. I don't remember now. The new longbow is 45. I do know that. But you are shooting some intensely heavy bows.
This one is 115 at my draw length. I don't know if, but it's like 84 or something at.
Right. 28. Right. And that is, I mean, that's war bow. Like if you think about the old battles that they had, that's what we're talking about. Like even hunting, people don't shoot with that normally because they're shooting it for the purpose of war bow situation, not hunting. They don't need that much.
And that was 98 pounds right there.
Yeah, that is intense. Okay, so with all of that said, I love that you got into this and you were able to start the business. Is there anything, for somebody who's looking at starting out in this kind of world, what are some of the first things that they need to look at?
First, they need to look at like safe sport insurance, making sure that everything is, you don't have to go through safe sport insurance. Just, protect yourself for one, have the safety equipment that you need for the archers, have the right bow, have the right arrow. You only need, one bow, a set of arrows for your student, but just, have fun, be constructive criticism in a way that won't make them not want to return. It's essentially you're teaching someone and you teach them how you would want to be taught, but not like, be nice. You should be, that's, like a teacher.
Right. No, very cool. And for somebody who's just starting out, they're like, okay, I don't want to necessarily like teach this stuff, but I want to get into it. Mm-hmm. What are a couple of things that they need to know right out of the gate?
Every hobby costs money. That's the thing. Everyone's looking for the really cheap equipment, and then that's not a good time because it's uncomfortable to use. It subpar could break. It's you just want the right equipment, and you want a good teacher. You should be able to have fun on your own. Like I teach people so that they can go on their own and shoot. I don't want them to come to me every week. That's it. I just want them to teach them and be gone. Have fun. That's literally it. Just get a bow you can practice with on your own and have fun, but still, get foundation, find a good YouTube, find a good book, lots of YouTube.
Right. No, definitely. And that is something, one of the things I was actually going to say too is, and this is what I forgot about a minute ago, we were talking about all the benefits of archery. One of the reasons that I loved it so much is because it's the type of thing that as a hobby is something you can do with friends. You can get out there, not just going to lessons, but you can take friends, you can go, you and I shot together, we go and we have fun. But if you do decide you want to go shooting and nobody else shows up, that's okay, because it's a lot of fun by yourself as well. Sometimes it's even better. My favorite time is to literally go walk an outdoor course by myself, and just it's the most relaxing, meditative experience. And
do that all the time, the outdoor range.
Yep. I sadly, I haven't got a range here that I've found yet. I have one I want to try, but I got to find one of their open house days, which they don't have very often. But even that one is quite a ways away from where I'm at. There's one that's closer, and I tested it. I didn't. No, not a big one. So usually when I go shooting, it's a little tiny indoor range that I have here. But I want to get back to more outdoor stuff. Yeah. But that is one of the things that I loved about it, and I think that it's really important for any kind of hobby type of thing that you get into. It's something you need to be able to do, whether it's with other people or by yourself, to make sure that you can still have a good time. That's really the goal with it.
So, the friends are the friends you meet along the way are the most that's the journey, you know?
100%. I can totally agree with you on that one, my friend. Okay. So as we're kind of starting to wrap things up, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we kind of finalize here? No? All right. All right. Just so everybody else knows, this is the first podcast that Ben has been on. So I get to have some fun and bring him out, and hopefully this will be the first of many down the road. Yes. Okay. So as we wrap up, we have two final questions here. Last questions. How can people get a hold of you? That'll be the easy one, but that's the last question. We got one before that. So right before that, the biggest thing is this is the Meet Cool People show. So I always ask every guest, what are the words meet cool people mean to you?
Just talking to anyone, really. Everyone's cool. You just got to listen to them and talk back. Every person, I think, is just really cool. So it's really great that you're just getting people on the show. And everyone's cool. That's it. You're just recording every day conversations that people would normally have.
Nice. I like it. Keep it simple. Very cool. Okay, so what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Facebook, phone is pretty bad. Any social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube is pretty bad for getting a hold of me because you can't really reply back with stuff. Discord, I'm on Discord. It's I am a horse dash or underscore. I think it's underscore because you can't have dashes. Okay. So I am a horse underscore on Discord. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord.
Very cool. And Facebook is the easiest because at least I think it is because that's how you and I usually communicate.
Yeah, I'm always on Facebook too. So
awesome.
I don't get notifications on my phone, which is key. I have to check them physically.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we'll make sure we put your Facebook on the show notes so people can get a hold of you if they're interested and have any questions. Because definitely for anybody who's listening, if this is something that sounds appealing to you, you are interested in learning anything about horse archery, Ben is the guy. Ben's the guy you want to talk to about it. He's done some amazing stuff. I've seen him grow as we've gotten to know each other, and he's doing some pretty amazing stuff, helping a lot of people out with this. So Ben, thank you so much for coming and hanging out today.
Thanks. I'm going to go see if I have time to shoot now.
All righty. All right. And everybody get out there. Have an amazing week. If there's anything I can do to help you out, reach out and let me know. Take care. And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. If you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to followuprockstar.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to followuprockstar.com and we'll see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rockstar.